What's up, everybody? Pete with Crunch Time Coaching, and Matt and I were in the middle of a product launch for our new course, Consistency, Stop Missing for No Reason at All. And I thought I'd come on live with you guys and do a bonus lesson on Rafa's new return strategy on hard courts. So it's pretty interesting, and I'm going to give you guys some actionable items you guys can use to go out there and play better and more consistent in your return game. And so let me just start here. I noticed he started to do this last year at the US Open. Thank you for the thumbs up. I noticed Rafa started to do this last year. Hey, what's going on, Liam? Rafa started to do this last year at the US Open. There was one match in particular I was watching Rafa play, and Uncle Tony was being interviewed, I think, by Pam Shriver. Did you guys see this match? This was the first time I noticed Rafa do this, and it was frustrating Uncle Tony. It was actually frustrating him. Where Rafa, let me just move the camera here so you guys can get a better view, so you guys can see. I'm back here at the baseline. Rafa started to stand way back, basically right next to the wall to return serve. I think he might have been playing Del Potro, the more I think about it. And Uncle Tony kept saying, Rafa needs to make an adjustment. He needs to be playing closer to the baseline. And Rafa just kept staying right back to that fence. And he kind of never looked back. Rafa, for many years, he would play on clay. He'd play back here. And then whenever he played on grass or hard court, and it definitely worked for him one US Open, he would play closer to the baseline. And the idea is on faster surfaces, you can't afford to be playing back so far because the play is faster and you're giving up angles and aces. People, critics of Rafa's return stance, even by statistics, he's one of the best on the tour. Yes, so this is kind of interesting. There are purists who would say, well, you can't get away with that, because if someone's got a good serve and you're standing way back here, you're giving up so many angles. You're giving up so many angles. And I think what Rafa decided, even on the Pro Tour where all these players can hit serves on a dime and they can hit these massive, big, powerful serves, Rafa decided, hey, but can you do it all match long? Can you do it against me for 3 out of 5 sets? Can you basically ace me off the court? And what we've been able to see is in the last year, the answer is no. People are not, even with those big serves, even though they can place the ball on a dime, they can't hit enough serves, enough aces to win an entire match against Rafa. And what Rafa has decided, see, the idea of playing closer to the baseline, especially on a fast surface, is you take their pace and you use it against them and you get the ball back and you also cut off angles. That's the idea behind playing closer in when you return serve. And I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but I think Rafa decided it's too tough for me. I'm not as good at it as I am when I go way back here and I give myself more time. I'm going to give up the angles, but he also does, move around. So sometimes if they're serving out wide, he might move further back this way. Do you see so make it a little harder to hit that angle. Let's see, maybe it's dumb question, but why didn't Federer this work well, Federer, he's actually more comfortable taking, the ball in close, and sometimes Federer moves back, but it definitely feeds into Rafa's game that he likes to be back there. And he's got a different, what's the difference between Federer and Nadal is Federer likes to be hitting in closer to the baseline. He likes to hug the baseline, and he likes to hit low over the net. That's what Fed likes to do. Rafa's not crazy about that idea. Rafa feels more comfortable a couple feet behind the baseline, and Rafa likes to hit the ball higher over the net. And so what Rafa's strategy is, and this is what I want you to try, if you're playing someone who's got a big serve, or you find that your timing's off if you're playing closer in, thank you. I'm glad you love my show. If you feel that you're having a tough day returning serve, try and play back. And what Rafa uses as a weapon back here is he uses height. Rafa uses height. In fact, I'm going to turn the camera around for you guys just so you can see. So when Rafa is coming back here to return serve, kind of cool, right? We're going live and we're moving the camera around, okay? Rafa likes to come way back here, and now if Rafa were to hit his returns lower over the net and fast, okay? If Rafa were to hit his returns lower over the net and fast, like this, okay? Do you see how that ball landed short? So his opponent's moving in, and that gives Rafa no time to recover. What Rafa likes to do instead back here is he really digs his heels in. He really digs his heels in, and he hits the ball high over the net. He uses height as a weapon, and he also uses height to give himself time. What you'll notice Rafa will do a lot is he'll hit a big, heavy return, high and deep in the corner, and that gives him time to get back to the baseline. He doesn't return and stay way back here for the rest of the point. He returns and he gets up to the baseline. Often he'll hit a big, high, heavy return. Watch the US Open. Watch how many times, if Rafa hits a really good return, watch how many times he hits a big, heavy return, and then he moves over there to the opposite side and hits an inside-out forehand winner. He goes from getting the ball back in play to hitting a winner like that. And he can tell, as soon as he's hitting that return, he can tell instantly if he's hit a really good return. Thank you guys for the thumbs up so far. So this is kind of what Rafa does. He stands here and he gives himself some height. I think this is a great weapon because think about this. You know, so many people that follow us, I know we are recreational players. We're not going to Wimbledon. We're not winning the US Open. We're trying to win our 3-0 to 4-5 matches. And think about how difficult it is. How much do you like a ball that's coming high and heavy and bouncing at you? How much do you enjoy a ball? One thing you can do for practice is stand back here and see if you can, there's usually a bar on most people's fence. See if you can hit a return that bounces in and goes over the bar. And think about what that would mean for your opponent. How many people can handle a ball up here? Well, that's basically what Rafa's doing back here. Rather than trying to return and use pace as a weapon, Rafa's using height as his weapon. So he's back here hitting these high, heavy returns like that. You guys see that? And it basically hit the bar. Do you see that? So Rafa's back here hitting those types of returns, and as that ball is in the air, of course he hits it much harder than me, but you kind of get the idea, and this is something that we can use in our matches, and I've tried this, and I know a lot of people, I'm about a 5-0 plus player, a lot of people I play against hate this. Does this tactic work against serve and volley player? Liam, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Best way to return serves who struggle. Oh yeah, also, I love this for a lot of reasons. Against a spin serve, there's two ways to return a spin serve, basically, guys. You stand in closer, right, before the ball kind of really gets all its momentum of its kick, and that takes a little more timing. Or with a kick serve, you let it die out. It comes up, it comes down. Occasionally you might get aced out wide with a kick serve, but again, like Rafa's emotion, if Rafa even gets ace a whole game, he doesn't go, uh-oh, this tactic's not working, I better quit. He's like, I'm in this tactic for the long haul. I will make an adjustment if I really realize it's never gonna work in a match. But otherwise, he's gonna give it a really good chance. He's gonna stand back here, and so with a kick serve, it goes up, let it die out and come down, and then again, you're coming with this heavy high return. Guys, I thought I hit that ball out. Did you see that? That ball landed on the line. So that's another thing. It really allows you to swing out back here. That ball landed on the line. That ball went super high. Who watching this film would like to deal with that ball? Another question was, does it work against serve and volleyers? And I think there's some serve and volleyers that are going to make you pay for that. But even, here's the thing. I think it can work against a serve and volleyer because who likes, especially if you can get it to their backhand side, who likes to deal with a very heavy, high, spinny backhand volley? So if you're taking this ball and you're aiming high and heavy at their backhand side, even if they're serving and volleying like that, look at that. These are effective. If you're hitting those returns in singles or doubles and they're serving volleying and having to take volleys way up here, even in doubles, I don't think a lot of people are going to feel comfortable and be very successful poaching on a ball like that. So I think this play is something you can experiment with. in singles and doubles. I think you can do it in either arena, singles and doubles, and you can win a lot of points, because what you're doing, first of all, is you're starting to get a lot more balls back in play. Okay, you're starting, that's what Rafa is basically the decision he's made. He's like, me standing close in, I'm not getting enough balls back in play. I'd rather get more balls back in play and constantly be putting pressure on. I hate the high bouncing ball. It's a great way to keep your opponent from controlling the point. I still hate it, exactly. So Rafa has decided, he's made a clear decision. He's like, on all surfaces, he did this at Wimbledon too, guys. I've never seen him do this at Wimbledon. Last year at the US Open, and he's been consistent with it, he's like, if I'm gonna play on hard, if I'm gonna play on clay, if I'm gonna play on grass, I'm gonna go with my game. My game is I get balls back in play. I am so, he's like a modern version of Borg. He's Borg, you know, he's Borg with more offense. He's Borg with a lot more offense, right? Let's face it. But his main weapon is he makes you answer the question over and over again. And I find that these are the toughest players to play against. The people that never give you breaks, that never give you easy outs. And so Rafa's decided, look, I'm going to stand back. You can ace me from time to time, but you know, if I get my racket on it, I'm getting that ball. I'm getting that ball back in play. And I'm going to give you a ball that's pretty tough to deal with. I'm going to give you my Rafa Nadal buggy whip spin return, and you're going to have a tough time with it. It's going to get over your shoulders, and that's going to give me time to get back into the court and get into the point. And I think that this play would be very, very effective at the recreational level. So even try it, especially try it sometimes on a second serve. You know, rather than put all the pressure on yourself to step up in the court and crush a second serve return, and you know, maybe you're like 50-50 on it, you hit a winner sometimes, and then sometimes you drive it into the fence or into the bottom of the net. Step back and hit a big, heavy spin ball. You probably don't have to go all the way back to the fence, but maybe back to about like right here, and see that second serve. I'm talking, you know, for probably like a 4-0 player, if they have a serve, and you can take it here and then bam, big heavy high spin. See how they deal with that, and you might find that you love it. You might find that it's taken a lot of pressure off you to constantly have to produce great returns that are going low over the net, or you're trying to get winners, and they're turning into putting a lot of pressure on them, where you're like making all your returns and you're giving them a tough shot every time. That's what Rafa has done. That's his new strategy on the hard court, on the grass court. He's always done it on clay, and it's always been super effective. And he is getting into so many return games now, guys. He is getting into so many return games. He even did this last night against David Ferrer, who doesn't have a big serve. He could have probably played in a lot closer on David Ferrer's serve, but he still decided to stand back by the fence, get the ball back in play, get up to the baseline, and then take charge of the point. And I think it's a great play for us. So let me know what you think. Like this video if you like it. Share it with your friends. Comment on it after we make this where it's going to live permanently on YouTube. I will put in the comments section, we have a new video out, a new course called Consistency Stop Missing for No Reason at All. It's a 30-day step-by-step practice system where every day you've got a new assignment that's built around consistency. We really focus on serve consistency. We focus on ground stroke consistency. You're being more consistent at the net, and it keeps you focused, so you always have something to do every day. In fact, starting next week, starting Monday, in our Top Club Elite group, if you ever sign up for that, you can try it for just for $1. I'm going to be going through the first 7 days with you guys. I hate the high. Do you actually think this would work well against people like Novak and Fed? He does it against Novak and Fed, and the answer is yes, especially against Federer. He hits that return. He hits that return high to Fed's backhand, and that's a really tough play for Federer. You know, he's done that for years on clay. I don't know if he's done it all the time on hard court. You know, maybe he's done hard court. Did he go way back? Has he played him since he's won the US Open? I don't know if Nadal has played Federer again since he's won the US Open. He really started to use this tactic at the US Open. Does it work well against Djokovic? Well, it worked pretty darn well against Djokovic at Wimbledon this year. He lost by like that much, so it's not like you can say it didn't work against Djokovic. He was so close to winning, and that was on grass where the ball doesn't bounce as high. It'll be interesting to see if they have a rematch at the US Open, which I predict they will, if that high ball, if that high return against Djokovic will be more effective on the hard court where it bounces a lot higher. So yeah, I mean, I think this does work. And again, I'm making this lesson not to coach Novak Djokovic or not to coach Rafael Nadal. I'm using this as an example to help you guys. And there's very, very few players you're going to play against where it will not work. Okay? If you can hit the shot high and heavy, if you have the ability to get some spin on it, right? But I mean, I'm even going to go one further. Let's say you're somebody who's like, well, Pete, I don't really have much spin on my shot. I don't really hit heavy balls. I'm just going to show you an example. Let's say you are a 3.0 or 3.5 watching this video, but you love tennis and you want to win more matches. And let's say you're playing somebody with a big serve. Look, I know I was hitting heavier strokes before, but I'm just going to show you what almost I wouldn't even want to play against this player. It'd drive me nuts. Right? Let's say you don't have strokes. If you just stood back here, someone hit a big heavy serve at you, and you just did that, well, you probably got to get a little, no, that was terrible. That was too short. Let me get a little deeper. There you go. That's it. If you're able to do that, I wouldn't want to deal with that ball. I would have not much fun with this. So look, I'm just tapping and pushing that ball back deep. There's not many people out there going to hurt you. So it's a great way to return a serve and not get hurt with the next ball. Okay? So try it and you'll like it. And if you want to try our 30-day challenge, again, I'm going to put a link in the comment section below once this becomes live. So look for that comment section and try the 30-day challenge with us. I'm going to do the first 7 days with you guys starting next Monday. I was actually talking to a new member today, and I said, look, when I go and I do these exercises, I actually feel better about my own game after I do it. So I know it works, because there's some drills that I was doing in the new course where I actually did a lot of reps, and after I was done the exercise, I thought, if I went and played a match right now, I think I'd serve pretty well. I think I'd hit my forehand pretty well. So these drills are pretty good. Plus you measure everything. You measure out everything. So check it out. I'll put in the comment section below in about 10-15 minutes. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. Give this video a like, share it. If you're not subscribed to Crunch Time Coaching yet, what's wrong with you? It's absolutely free. If you want to get better at tennis, if you want to follow the tour with us and see my opinions on it, if you want to watch the best tennis talk show on the internet, you also want to subscribe to my buddy Matt from Coffee Break Tennis. I think he's actually working on one today. Everybody's been asking, where's Matt? Where's Matt? Matt is fine. He's going to be coming back with some strong videos for the US Open for you guys. And so be checking out his channel as well. And that's it. I'm done. I'm going to get ready for my lessons today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See ya.